To me, this is one of the most magnificent views on the whole Chancellorsville battlefield. Chris Mackowski for Emerging Civil War. I'm out here with my 2-year-old battlefield and partner, James Mackowski. And Federals had advanced from the camera off into the distance, and then they're going to be repulsed with Confederates hot on their heels, but then Confederates are going to have to come up in this direction. And I think it's worth walking out here to take a look at this landscape. James here certainly agrees that this is a beautiful view. We told you in our first segment this morning about the Federal advance out of the wilderness, coming from behind me toward Fredericksburg, which is going to be in front of me, which I'll show you here in just a second. They're moving along the old plank road and the orange turnpike heading into the city. And of course, the Confederates are off in that direction waiting for them. Federals don't realize it. If we turn around and take a look at the view we were just looking at a second ago, you can see behind me the Confederate position back there. The Federals advance almost up to the Alsop farm and then are kind of pushed back in this direction, which then gives them the opportunity to hold this hill. And I think this is just a magnificent spot. George Sykes' regulars are occupying this position, and when I think about the Confederate advance coming up in this direction, they've got to come across that wide open field we were looking at just a second ago, down into the Lick Run Valley, try to get across the stream and then come up the slope of that hill, and they're under fire and exposed that whole time. What a great position to defend. But off in the direction now behind me, a little bit to the south, that's where Henry Slocum's 12th Corps is ordered to fall back. And even though here Sykes has some reinforcements from Hancock's 2nd Corps coming up to help him out, he's ordered to fall back too. Can't speak up here on the hill, I guess. Meanwhile, Confederates from that direction will start sliding up in this direction, so they're going to outflank Sykes' position. I think he could stay up here and with enough reinforcements just beat off the tides of Confederates, particularly when you think about this landscape and the magnificent position he's holding. But he's ordered to pull back. This is one of the things that makes George Gordon Meade just go ballistic. If we can't hold the high ground, how do you expect us to defend the low ground, he later says. But Joe Hooker is feeling good. He feels like he can pull back, consolidate his position around the Chancellorsville intersection, and now he's holding all the cards from his point of view. He's chosen the ground. He's in a tight defensive position. He's defending his own logistics, his own transportation, communication, and if necessary, routes of retreat. And he knows that Robert E. Lee's got to come at him. So from Hooker's point of view, like, yeah, things are looking great. But I always think about what might have happened had George Sykes been able to stay on this ground and Confederates having to advance from that position here. Boy, this is almost like a Gibraltar on the battlefield. One of those great what-ifs to consider about Chancellorsville. I'm Chris Mackowski, spending some time out on the battlefield today. We'll be walking across different parts of the battlefield over the course of this 156th anniversary for Emerging Civil War. Glad to have you with us.